That's not what it's saying. That's saying that
Okay,
this term sheet, the fees called out, like the total estimated cost or whatever, term sheet called out here is not including the broker fee. It does not mean that there is no broker fee. It just means that this term sheet does not include it.
got it. Okay, okay.
Yes, so they're
Alrighty.
not mutually exclusive.
Okay, gotcha. I know I'm supposed to know what mutually exclusive means. That's an SAT word, but I think I understand.
Meaning that like one does not make the other one absolutely true or untrue.
Gotcha, gotcha. Okay.
Right.
Um, the second deal, the 79,000 deal, it's in Baltimore. They've already put a offer down, so they want to purchase, and they want to get the funding from us. My understanding is that it's 20% down. Is that correct?
Is
20%
it a
down?
DSCR purchase?
Yes, the SCR purchase.
Yes. 20% down is the industry standard.
Yeah. And then there's nothing else that we do that's different from the rest of the industry for DSCRs.
The only thing we do different, as far as we being L&H Capital, is we will do 85% of the as is value with that second program. So where most people cap at 75% as is on the cash out, we can go up to 85%, but it has to be in a form of a second, and it has to be behind a conventional first or a DSCR first that has been in place for 6 months.
Okay, so 6 months they can come back in and do a second. I need to write that down. I'm driving right now,
Then don't
but
write it down now.
okay, yeah, okay. So I will make sure I listen to the recording and get that down and get them to that as an option. Another option they were looking at was, is it possible for them to do a fix and flip to get a lower down payment if they want to get a fix and flip? Because they were going to buy it straight out, but if they have any other options to get a lower down payment, they wanted to explore that also.
So, I mean, if the property, well, if there's an ARV component, if there's a rehab component, yeah, you can definitely look at it as a fix and flip as long as the numbers make sense. There's an ARV, all that good jazz. But if they're buying and that we're capped at 75% of ARV, just make sure that they know how the numbers shake down before they try to restructure the deal completely.
Okay, yeah, the name of my company is Parham Next Level Solutions. And so we want to talk about all the different solutions for them, including getting a property at 100,000, because I thought we were capped at 100, but if we're capped at 79, I mean, if 79 beats that 75, then we're good to go.
Right.
And so this would be their second one. And is Baltimore flagged for any particular reasons? Do you know?
Yes.
Or we have to get their address. I have their address.
Baltimore is flagged as a high risk city. So you're going to see leverage reductions of typically 5 to 10% for most loan programs. And that's actually from most lenders, just based on, Baltimore market just kind of being flat for so long.
Okay. And how does that leverage affect this particular DSCR or fix and flip? Is there a certain amount that they have to do for fix and flip? Is it like 10,000, 20,000 or a minimum for fix and flip?
Most people want loan amounts, at 50,000, high as is value. So that's why you won't see a lot of players doing like the Baltimore deals, just because of how, those low value properties, the risk reward just never balances out.
Got it. Okay. So it's just a strictly DSCR loan, and we have to look at the different lengths and terms that they have. Because we wouldn't do a 30-year on a 75,000, and that takes you to what's that, 79, $59,000,
Right.
$60,000
So
loan,
for you,
be a 20, 30 year on that.
so right. So for you to get that deal done, you'd have like the borrower would have to have a second deal to go in there so that the loan amount exceeds the minimum requirement. That makes sense? Did we lose you, Lawrence?
Yeah, he might just be stuck because he's traveling.
All right. Well, while we wait for him to come
Be
back,
back in about 30 seconds. Yeah, I'll just looking like 30 seconds now.
still waiting. Still waiting. Right. Well, while we're waiting, um, anyone else have something that they want to run through? Any scenarios, situations, topics, term sheets, loan structuring, anything like that that we can keep the party going with while we're waiting for Lawrence to come back and keep the party going with his Baltimore rundown.
I'm back.
Anybody? Okay. All right, let's go.
Okay. So you were saying something before I went out about getting a second. You
Um,
remember that?
Yeah, so the DSCR on purchases is pretty straightforward. It's going to be 20% down. On refinances, you can go up to 85% of the as-is value as long as it's in the form of a second and it's behind a conventional or DSCR loan that has been in place for at least 6 months.
Okay. Yeah, this will be their first time purchase. So it'll just be a straight DSCR loan. But I was asked about how long would that loan be if it's such a small loan amount? Because they put 80% down, and that makes they
20%
put
down.
20% down. Yeah, that takes it what to 79, 69, 59 for the loan, correct?
If they're buying a $79,000 house.
Yes.
Yeah, so at 79,000, 80%, he'd be at 63,000 on the loan amount. So you'd have to cluster that up with another property to meet the minimum loan requirement.
Got it. Okay. So we couldn't do this, and I'll let them know that. Unless they want to go for a higher loan amount, and I'll just tell them it's the 80% down. Okay. I mean, not the 80% down,
Okay.
20% down, 20% down. Okay, that's what I got. But they maybe want to go ahead and do it themselves anyway, so they can get this property that they're really excited about. They're looking at other properties.
Okay, so do they have a deal that they're about to throw in the contract, or they're just kind of more out looking now?
They got this $79 bill. They told me they put what do you do when you put you
Ernest,
do something with it, huh?
you put it on the contract?
Yeah, they put in an offer. That's what they did.
Okay.
They put in an offer to them, and so I'll tell them where we are with that. And they can't do a DCR, DS. I mean, they can do a DSCR, but they may have to couple it with another property because it's too low, even though the loan value is 79. I mean, not the loan value. Yeah, the
The
loan
loan amount.
amount is 79, which qualifies over the 75. But when you put the 20% down, it doesn't meet the requirement, right?
Correct.
Did I say that right?
Correct. You said it
Okay.
right.
Okay. And so we couldn't help them on that part.
Correct. That would be a little bit too low for us and honestly for most people. But that's not to say that you cannot ask around to find the lender that is okay doing that small DSCR, because if that is the case, now you become, the niche, loan program where you don't have that 70 or 50K or 75K minimum. You're the guy that people call to get that small loan done.
Okay. So I have to ask them around. Do you have any sources?
We can put out there. I don't know any of the players now that would do a loan amount sub 75K, because the economics never seem to work out. But we'll definitely ask around.
Okay. That sounds good. That's all I got.
All right, cool. Anyone else on the call? Scenarios, questions, got something that they want to try to land that they need some guidance on, any combination of the two. Let's rock and roll. Let's see what we got. What do we need to do to get deals pushing into the system?
Hey, super quick,
Nobody.
guys. If we don't have any other members that have questions, obviously, if we do, let's have them jump in. But one of the questions, Adonis, that new brokers are going to have all the time is, what about my broker fee? And I've got the dollar amount of money that's established, a percent or a flat fee or whatever it is. I've got a document, and just so that everyone on the call knows, we have a sample document that is loaded into the broker toolkit for both the PNB network and SMB. So they're both of those. They're in the website. You can download them. You can use them. They can LMH can use them right now today. So you don't need to do anything to it other than fill in your information and the dollar amount of money or percentage. But when is that delivered? Like in the process, when does a broker discuss that with a client as well as use that actual document? When does that document get sent in and to whom?
When does the broker discuss their fee with the client? Is that what your question was?
Right. Yep. And then when do
Once
you use the physical contract?
Once the broker knows, so I think that right out the gate, the broker should have a conversation with the client that, hey, whatever the lender fee is, my fee is going to be separate, right? And I think that I think that it's important. So I would always try to, be I tell people to be very static in your pricing so that the customer knows what they're getting up front. So, hey, listen, I'm going to be charging 1 point. So whenever the lender fees come out, I'm going to be charging 1 point on top of that. So right out the gate, when when the file gets submitted, and that's kind of the whole point, Lawrence, where if the term sheet comes out and your broker fee is not included on it, it doesn't matter because you two already had a conversation about what your fee is. And once you know that everything is good, I would have your broker agreement signed right then and there. So no matter what happens, right? No matter, because your customers will turn on you in the middle of the transaction if it financially makes sense for them. So once it's like, hey, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Here's what the fee is. We're gonna get you submitted, but let me go ahead and, they're making me, submit my broker agreement. Just allows me to say that I can talk to you and use the fact that, me being able to talk to these lenders on your behalf, is based on my broker agreement. So put that in place so that if the borrower and you ever get into odds, they can't just be like, well, don't pay them, right? Because they can easily call in and be like, hey, I never told Lawrence I was going to pay him. And we have nothing in writing that says that. So, I've had lenders who have dirtbag brokers. Like, I've seen it where they've dirtbag brokers because, well, the borrower is saying they never agreed to pay you and you don't have anything in writing. So we can't just add your fee because you want to get paid. And it's so messed up. But if you don't have it in writing, there's nothing for you to stand on.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to have it with Tia in her document now, and just put the 1% in there or the dollar amount in there. I'll just put 1%. and so that she sees that and we agree with it, and when she signs it, it's okay.
Exactly.
So she is asking about what is a loan origination fee? I don't want to pay that. What's that about? So I have to learn what that's about and explain it to her, because she's saying she doesn't want to pay it because she saw it on the. You
She
there?
doesn't want to pay. She doesn't want to pay the loan origination fee.
Yeah, she was saying, what is it? Why does she have to pay a loan origination fee? And I was like, oh, I got to go and explain that. I was more worried
How
about the
did you
brokerage, to tell the truth.
how did you explain it to her?
I told her I would ask the question and get back to her about it, but it's
How
pretty
would you
standard
explain
on.
how would
I
you
would say it's
explain it
pretty
to her?
okay. I would say it's a pretty standard fee that all lending companies use for the work that they do.
Okay.
That's what I would say. But I'm going off
It's
the
how
top of my head.
it's how the loan officer or the account executive gets paid,
Okay.
right? So, that's the person who's on the front lines. That's how they get paid. That's how the lending company gets paid. That's how the house makes its money.
Okay. Got it. And I'll let her know that.
Cool.
Since I sent my invoice in to L&H, or sent it to Joan, and she said she's going to upload it, can they redo the term sheet and send it to Tia so she can sign it with my loan origination fee in it?
Ask them, if they're okay with it, they'll, include it. If they're not, they'll tell you why.
Okay, that's good. But she said she's going to upload it in the portal, which I'm okay with.
Cool. I see you making moves.
I need to make many, many more, Adonis, many, many more.
I mean, like I said, you got to keep them coming in, right? Like, it's a volume game. So the more deals you get in, the more reps that you get at this.
I agree. I'm way more confident through these two that's coming in than I was in the beginning.
I'm loving it. Well, then that means that, we're moving along and you're progressing, properly.
All right. And I got to get off for 4 o'clock, but I want to tell you that I'm going to a marriage retreat in Virginia Beach the rest of the week. So I'm going to try to get on, depending on what activities that they have. But we're definitely going to try to get on, but I may not be there. Okay.
Yes, sir. All right, well, that'll work. So, I mean, we're at the top of the hour anyway. So Lawrence, as always, we appreciate you joining. Make sure to join the growth strategy call tomorrow, 5 o'clock Central Time. I want to hear what happens when you talk to this customer. And we're gonna hear kind of what you're continuously doing to keep the business coming in the door.
We'll do. We'll do.
All right. All right. Does anyone have
And I
anything
may
else?
not be. Hold on. I may not be able to make it because I'm gonna be at this marriage retreat. I don't know what the schedule is for the activities and stuff like that, but I'm gonna try my best to be on.
All
Lawrence,
right,
do
sounds like a
not blow
plan.
your marriage just to listen in on these calls. Don't do it, man.
Correct. You better enjoy it. You better enjoy that. You better enjoy your trip, sir.
We'll do. We'll do. Talk to y'all soon.
All right. All right, have a good one. All right, guys. If y'all have anything else, tomorrow, growth strategy call, 5 p.m. Central. All right, everyone. Enjoy. See you guys tomorrow.